chance to consider everything that's been presented to the court in regards to this juror, and we've spoken with other counsel. We're not of one accord, and so I'll let everyone speak for themselves. Right. But on behalf of Mr. Williams, we would oppose the juror being removed from this jury. We would ask that she remain. We do not think that there's been enough put forward to substantiate her being removed, okay. And that's our position.
Well, we're not removing her. We would be letting her go.
Well, that's okay. What I mean.
All right.
Mr. Kendrick is not opposed to the court letting this juror go.
Okay.
Your Honor, on behalf of Mr. Stillwell, we are opposed to letting this juror go. We are under the impression that she is still getting paid.
I am also under that impression currently.
So we are opposed to letting the juror go.
My impression is that she might have had some, I don't know what was going on, something between her and her current employer. But I mean, all I know is what y'all know. So I couldn't hear what you said without. Okay, well, y'all gonna have to work that out between yourselves.
Mr. Ryan would like to voir dire the witness or the juror to ensure she wouldn't hold it against us if we were to keep her.
Okay.
Your Honor, on behalf of Mr. Huey, we want her to stay.
All right.
Your Honor, on behalf of Mr. Nichols, we are not opposed to letting the juror go.
All right. Thank you. All right, and essentially the state's position was, I'll leave it up to the court. Do you have a position one way or another, or?
It was essentially that. We'd ask that the court just make an inquiry whether or not she's experiencing any kind of hardship that, you know, makes her more inclined to take the job. That's the thing that we were trying to discern, if she's experiencing a hardship that makes it, in her mind, necessary that she take the job because of the 2 months pay that she didn't get from the current position.
Right. I don't know that she voiced said not getting 2 months pay. I thought she said that she got paid late, that there were some issues with payment a few times late from her employer.
I may have misunderstood that. I thought that she said that she didn't get paid once last year and then another month earlier this year.
Yeah, but I thought that that was, and we can find out more, but I had thought that that was an issue with not getting paid when she thought she was going to get paid, but ultimately it getting paid.
And then we'd ask that if the court could get clarification on whether she is or is not currently getting paid, those two things.
Okay, well, I was pretty clear that she is currently getting paid. I think she just wants another job because she's not happy with this job or something. I don't know, but okay. All right, well, we'll take it up later. All right, anything else before we get the jury back in? Who's going to be up next for cross-examination? Is Mr. Nichols going to have any cross-examination? Okay. All right, let's get Mr. Copeland. And
Your Honor, we do have to.
Oh, okay. Hang on.
Your Honor, we Mr. Shard over the lunch break, and we think him provided the exhibits that he's intending to potentially use.
Okay.
And so the state does have some objections to a few of his exhibits. And I don't know if the court received a copy of his exhibits.
I don't have a copy. Did you send a copy to Ms. Percifield? Okay. Can somebody so that or pull them up or something?
It's on a flash drive. Do you have another?
Some easy way for me to be able to look at them. Are these like audios or videos or something, Miss Hilton? What is it that you're objecting to?
One of the exhibits was the same exhibit that Mr. Steele attempted to exhibit, which was the Instagram post with the innocent man Instagram post. And so that was included.
Now, I adopt all of Mr. Steele's arguments for admission, but based on the court's ruling, I was not intending on introducing that.
The next two exhibits are, there's, I think it's DS-27A, which is a warrant for false report of a crime. Mr. Copeland was never convicted. Matter of fact, I think that case was actually dismissed. And so I'm not sure the relevancy of the warrant that.
Is this a different warrant than he was presented with before?
Yeah, this is different from the murder warrant.
Okay.
Yes.
Your Honor, I can hand up to the court my copy.
Okay.
And there's two warrants actually, one for false report of a crime and then one for false statements, both which were dismissed by the state.
So, Your Honor, this warrant was from 2021. It was pending in the DA's office until earlier this year. It's been pending while this trial is going on. The DA's office, I believe it says January 18th of 2024, no prost, or they said declined to prosecute. I believe that's the third document.
Yeah.
I'll point out a couple things. First of all, the reason for the decline to prosecute is prosecutorial discretion, not a hole in the evidence. Also, that decline to prosecute says that this case can be, it says at this time, the state declines to prosecute, meaning it can be brought up in the future. And quite simply, Your Honor, the state cannot, it's clear under the law that pending cases against a witness are bias and motive. The state cannot evade the reality of pending cases by just simply dismissing cases against their witnesses before they testify. So this case was pending during this trial. I believe Mr. Copeland, I wasn't planning on introducing any evidence, but Mr. Copeland gave a interview to the Danza Project where he seems to be under the impression that the case is still pending as of that interview. So I don't even know if he's aware about the declination of prosecution.
Okay. When was that interview? About?
Recently, like
Recent.
Last couple of months or
I think
couple of
last
weeks.
few
Okay.
weeks.
All right. That seems relevant.
Then that's fine that it seems relevant. We just don't think he can go into the warrants. He can say, was he arrested for false report of a crime and was the case declined? But I'm not sure if he intends to show him the warrants of his arrest.
Was he arrested?
He was arrested and then the case was dismissed.
3 years later.
Well, just to be clear,
When was he
was in
arrested?
jail. The false report of a crime is he accused a jail guard of using OC spray on him, and the jail reviewed the tape, and the jail guard didn't even have OC spray.
Okay.
And so that's, this going into the warrant trial, it was declined earlier this year in January of 2024.
Okay. Well, you can ask him about all of it, and then if it becomes necessary to use those documents, you can use them.
Yes, John.
What else?
That's it.
Okay. All right. Then I think we're ready to get Mr. Copeland and the jury in.
we just had one other thing Mr. Shaw just brought to our attention that he intends on introducing. And I didn't know.
Do we need to ask Mr. Copeland to step
Yes.
aside? And sorry, we thought we were ready for you, but we're not quite. Just hang very close. I'm going to have y'all come back from lunch 15 minutes earlier than the jury so that we can do these kind of things. All right. Yes.
Your Honor, it appears that Mr. Shaw intends on showing him as a demonstrative a jail outfit. And I don't know the relevance of
Why?
showing him the jail outfit.
Because a theme in this case has been the Fulton County Blues. In particular, on June 10th, 2015.
He came in wearing that, right?
Well, I'm talking about 2015.
Oh, 15. Okay.
2015, he's
June
on-
10th, June 10th. Okay.
He's on video.
Yeah.
All right, there's a lot of June 10s. He's on video, and he's not wearing a jail outfit because they haven't brought him to the jail yet.
Okay.
Part of the reality of Rice Street, and I'm not asking this to go back with the jury, it's just a demonstrative. Part of the reality of Rice Street is you wear the outfit, you lose your individuality, your identity, you're thrown in the Fulton
Hey,
County.
No, that is nice and dramatic, but no, we don't need to do that.
May I use a picture?
No.
Okay.
Okay, let's get Mr. Copeland. And the jury. All right, Mr. Copeland, come on, have a seat with us. Well, I guess stand up for the jury.
Go.
Thank you. Hope y'all had a pleasant lunch. We good?
Yes.
All right. All right, Mr. Shart, you can proceed with your cross.
Thank you, Your Honor. May it please the court. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Mr. Copeland.
Good afternoon.
Okay, Mr. Copeland, we have never met before. Isn't that correct?
No.
Okay. We've seen each other in the hallway over
No,
last-
we never met before.
Yeah, we never met before. My name is Max Shard, and I'm the attorney that represents Shannon Stillwell, okay?
All right.
All right. And I know you've been asked a lot of questions, and I'm going to try not to repeat questions that you've been already asked. I'm going to do my best.
All right.
All right, great. You do not want to be here today.
At all.
Okay. And the reason you don't want to be here today is not because you're scared, correct?
You know that.
Okay. It is because what you said in 2015 was lies.
You said it again?
What you said in 2015 were lies.
Right.
Okay. And specifically, when you said that Demekion Garlington told you something at that McDonald's about Mr. Stillwell, that was a lie.
Right.
You lied to get out of trouble.
Right.
You lied as part of your finesse to the police.
Right.
You've testified that if the police mentioned anyone, you were going to come up with a story about them to get yourself out of trouble.
As y'all seen.
And the police mentioned Jeffrey Williams.
Right.
They called him a big fish.
Right.
And you lied on Jeffrey Williams.
Right.
Okay. Mr. Copeland, I'm going to ask you, do you still have that listening device?
Huh?
Do you still have the listening device?
What's that?
The
Earbuds.
Oh, they right here.
Yes. Okay. I'm going to play a clip for you, okay? Mr. Kokomo, could you play what has been marked DS230? And for the record, this is a clip from State's Exhibit 378 Yankee Echo, which is the June 10th, 2015 interview, and it's from 9:53:35 to 9:54:10.
How long you been doing Shannon? Long as through as hell? Okay. You've been doing Shannon a good part of your teenage adult life, correct? Y'all.
Mr. Copeland, is it not playing on your...
It just popped up.
Okay. Could you start it all over again for Mr. Copeland?
How long you been doing Shannon? Long as through as hell? Okay. You've been doing Shannon a good part of your teenage adult life, correct? Y'all basically grew up together, right? Went to school together. Y'all like brother. You, Demekion, and Shannon. That's from what I know. Yeah. So I can pretty much assume that if it's something like that that they did, even if you weren't involved in it, you know about it. Because I'm telling you, everything kind of keeps coming back to you. You understand? Because Shannon's out there on the streets now.
Okay. In that clip, Investigator Gaither is asking you about Shannon, correct?
This sound like it.
Okay.
I can't barely hear it. That's why I took the headphones out.
Are they not working?
No, it's just like the way the way I can hear, it's not clear enough for me. That's why I had to listen like out loud.
Okay, I understand. All right, well, we're going to do our best to work through that, okay? All right. So, regardless, in that clip, I'm going to ask you about that clip, and you can, if you didn't hear it, you didn't hear it. Investigator Gaither tells you that while you're in the interview room with her, Shannon is out on the street. Isn't that correct?
I just heard it.
Okay. Investigator Gaither says to you, if Shannon's involved in something, you know about it, correct?
I didn't hear that. Only thing I heard was just the last part where she said he on the street.
Okay. You now realize that the police were saying some things, such as Jeffrey's on a European tour, or Shannon's on the street and you're in here with us, to try to get you to tell on other people, correct?
Objection, speculation.
Sustained.
Is that how you took those statements at the time?
I don't get what you're saying.
Did you take those statements when Investigator Dennis told you that Jeffrey's on a European tour while you're sitting in the investigator's room, or Shannon's on the street while you're in the interview room? Did you take those statements as invitations to give information on other people?
Yeah, that's what they were doing the whole time. He got these big houses and cars, and that's what I think that was Dennis kept saying it all the time.
Okay. And these conversations and Investigator Gaither talking about Shannon then, that's not the only time law enforcement talked about Shannon in your interviews, is it? They would talk about Shannon a lot.
Yeah, right.
And let me ask you this. These interviews that we have, are those the only time you talk to the investigators about this case?
No.
Okay. You would have phone conversations with investigators, right?
Yes.
Phone conversations with Investigator Gaither that aren't recorded?
What you mean?
Did you record the phone conversations?
Mm-mm.
Have you ever heard a recording of the phone conversations?
No.
Okay. So as far as you know, phone conversations with Investigator Gaither, you had those, right?
Yes.
And as far as you know, they're not recorded.
We had conversation that I ain't heard.
How many conversations would you say you had with Investigator Gaither from January 1st, phone conversations from January 1st to, we'll say June 10th? Weekly, daily?
A lot.
Okay. What about Investigator Thorpe? You talked to him on the phone?
No.
Okay. What about?
I did, but
not as often?
Yes.
Okay. What about when they bring you to the interview room? Okay. Obviously, we see videotapes of you in the interview room. Do the police talk to you outside of the interview room before you go in there?
Yes, they do it all the time.
Okay. And are those conversations about what you need to do?
Yeah, some like that.
Okay. And what officers had those conversations with you, to your recollection?
Shit, everyone they have me.
Okay. So the bottom line is, you said that the state were asking about Jeffery when Mr. Steele was asking questions, right?
Yes.
Okay. The reality is the state was also asking about Shannon.
Yes.
And the reality is you didn't only lie on Jeffery, but you also lied on Shannon.
Yes.
And you also lied on Mr. Kendrick, correct?
Yes.
You remember when Attorney Steele showed you that video from the Texaco gas station and asked if you saw Jeffery Williams walking around the Texaco changing cars?
Yes.
Okay. I'm not going to play that video again.
Thank God.
I don't think you're the only one that's saying that. But when you watched it, you didn't see Shannon changing cars at that Texaco either, did you?
No.
Regarding these lies you told in 2015, you have repeatedly told the state that they were lies, correct?
I told everybody who listened to me.
Okay. I want to ask you about, you mentioned it briefly with Mr. Steele. Remember that on June 10th of this year, we're talking about this year now. Remember when you were in the judge's chambers?
I'm listening.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
Okay. And just so we're clear, you didn't request to speak to the judge or the prosecutors, did you?
I had no clue where I was going.
Okay. And you had been in jail the weekend before.
Yes.
And guards brought you to the judge's chambers.
Took me straight in there.
Okay. And when you were brought to the chambers, Miss Hilton was there, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And
the SWAT team.
And security, whatever they were. You saying the SWAT team. I was not there.
No, I didn't see you.
Okay. Mr. Stillwell wasn't there.
Who?
My client, Mr. Stillwell. Shannon.
No.
Okay. And none of the other defense attorneys were there?
No.
Okay. I want to ask you about some things that were said in that interview. Now, you're aware there was in that meeting on June 10th, okay? Now, you're aware that there's a transcript, correct?
I heard.
Okay. Have you seen the transcript?
It was sent to me, but I didn't never look at it.
If I ask you about things that were said in the meeting, would looking at a transcript help?
I guess.
Okay. Your Honor,
Yes.
may I approach with what's been marked as DS-33, which is the transcript from the June 10th, 2020?
Yeah, but I mean, ask him about it first. Ask him about it,
Oh,
and
okay.
then if he needs to see it, then
Okay.
you can give it.
Okay.
You can hand it to him, but
Thank you. Don't look at this unless you need to, okay?
All right.
there you go.
Mr. Copeland, in that meeting in the judge's chambers, did you tell Ms. Hilton that you've never been truthful in your life?
Yes.
Except when you're telling them that you're a liar.
Right.
In that meeting, did you tell Ms. Hilton that, I won't get the quote, so when the police question me, they don't question me every time they lock me up. I don't know how many times that was. I done told them whatever different story I could think of to try to finesse my way out of the situation. I don't recall what I told them.
Yes.
Did Miss Hilton tell you when talking about lying? But if I know that you are lying about that, I do not intend to do that. If I know that right now he's lying, I know he's lying, I'm not going to charge you because I don't know your reason for doing that.
Did she tell me that?
Yes.
Yes.
You were offered immunity by the state, correct? Well, not offered. I say that you didn't want immunity, but they gave you immunity.
Yes, they forced it.
Okay. To Miss Hilton, did you tell her I did these crimes?
Yes.
And they have insisted that you testify, correct?
Yes.
They have told you it's okay if you say, I don't recall, when asked about your prior statements, correct?
Huh?
They told you you can say, well, let me back up. In preparation, the state's met with you several times in June of 2024, right?
I don't know what you're asking me.
Okay. Take yourself back to June 2024, okay? That was before.
What year this here?
This is 24, so a couple of months ago is what he means.
Couple months ago, right? Before you testified at all. You remember the week before you testified?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You remember when the state and Miss Hilton and maybe some other people started coming to find you in the community?
Yes.
Okay. You had a lawyer at the time, right?
Yes.
His name was John Melnick?
Yes.
Okay.
Jonathan Melnick.
To your understanding, did the state, when they were trying to find you in the community, did they reach out to your attorney or did they go behind your attorney to talk to you?
Objection, Your Honor, relevance.
So
To your understanding?
on the relevance, I mean, we've kind of been through all of this.
Can I?
Try a different question.
Was Mr. Melnick there for those meetings with Ms. Hilton in the community?
No,
They took you to the courthouse one day before you were to testify, correct?
no, 2 days.
2 days before you were to testify. And was Mr. Melnick there for those meetings?
No,
And you told the state that what you said in 2015 was lies.
I told Ms. Hilton.
Okay. I'm going to change subjects, okay? Now, I'm not going to ask anything too personal, but I'm going to ask a little bit about your life, okay? Is that okay with you?
No,
All right. Let me ask you this. At some point in your life, you lived in Mechanicsville.
yes,
Okay. And as I understand it, your life hasn't always been easy.
my life ain't never been easy.
Okay. Your life has never been easy. And there have been times where you have been in dangerous situations in your life. Is that fair to say?
Yes,
Okay. I want to ask you about some ways that you avoid dangerous situations. Okay. When you are approaching a stoplight, a red light, do you stop at the red lights?
Objection on relevance?
It's very relevant.
I assume he's going to get to it.
Do you stop at the red lights?
hell no.
Okay, you said hell no.
Yeah,
Okay. Why don't you stop at red lights?
because I want to live.
Okay. And when you say because you want to live, what are you afraid of at red lights? What is your concern?
Somebody pulling up on the side of my car.
Someone pulling up on the side of the car and shooting you, correct?
Yes,
Okay. And so when you pull up to red lights, you might stop briefly, but then you,
I'm not stopping at all.
okay, so you just keep going.
Right through it.
Okay. I appreciate you telling us that information. And is that during the day and night?
It's doing at any red light.
Okay.
If the police right there, I turn off.
And you've actually told the police this in a prior interview in 2021. You told them that you don't stop at red lights, correct? You told Investigator Flores that.
Probably did.
Okay, what about tinted windows? Do you prefer to drive cars with tinted windows?
This Garrett, this must.
That's a must. Why is that a must?
So people don't know I'm in that car.
Why don't you want people to know you're in that car?
Because they like to shoot at cars.
Okay, so is that a form of self-preservation, riding around in cars with tinted windows only?
You better.
Okay. And let me ask you this: with the red lights, are you the only one that does this, or are there other people in your in Mechanicsville or in other areas that do that as well, to your knowledge?
Speculation and relevance.
Well, he said to your knowledge, I think I'm
To
going
your
to allow
knowledge.
it.
Most of the people I know run lights.
Run lights. Okay. What about the tinted windows?
Even my sister and them got tinted windows.
Okay. Finally, I want to ask you about wearing a mask. And when I say a mask, I don't know what to call it. So maybe if you can educate me and the jurors. Talking about a cloth mask with a hole right here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What do you call that type of mask?
Shit, different stuff. I call it a mask. Some people call it a shiesty. They just got different names to it.
Okay, I'm just going to call it a mask, but to be
All right.
clear, we're talking about the same things. And you've worn those masks before, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, may I approach?
You may.
Mr. Copeland, I am handing you what's been marked DS29A and DS29B. Okay, are those pictures of you?
Look like it.
Okay, and are those pictures of you? You're not doing anything illegal in those pictures, correct?
No.
Okay,
I mean, correct.
correct.
I'm not doing that illegal.
Right. You are wearing those masks I talk about in those pictures, correct?
Right.
Okay. Mr. Kokomo, could you publish 29A and
They're not admitted yet.
oh, I'm sorry. Your Honor, I move to admit DS 29A and 29B.
I assume this is going to be kind of the same lines of testimony. They're admitted over objection.
Mr. Kokomo, could you just publish one of them, 29A? Okay. We're going to publish 29B. Okay, now, Mr. Copeland, on your screen, that's the type of mask we're talking about, and I just want the jurors to be able to know what we're talking about. Okay. What are those masks made of?
What you mean?
Like what material?
I ain't make it.
Are they made of cloth?
I don't know.
Okay. Are you the only person to wear those masks?
No, everybody wearing them.
Everyone wears those masks. What year did you start notice everyone wearing those masks?
When COVID came.
About 2020?
When COVID would cause us to wear the mask.
Okay. And are they... Okay.
It became more like a fashion thing.
That's what I was about to ask you. It became more of a fashion thing.
Right.
Okay. And where can you buy those masks?
Shit. Anywhere.
Gas stations sell those masks?
Yeah.
Okay. Corner stores sell those masks?
Beauty supply store, all that.
Okay. They're not rare.
Huh?
They're not rare.
They're not weird?
Rare. They're not
Unusual.
unusual. They're common.
Right.
Those masks are common.
Mhm.
They come in all different colors,
Yes.
all different sizes.
Yes.
All right. Just because you're running a red light, does that mean you're committing a crime? Other than a driving infraction?
It depends on, yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Well, you do it to preserve yourself, correct? To avoid being shot.
Right.
Okay, avoiding being shot is not committing a crime, is it?
You're just protecting yourself.
Okay. When you're riding around in tinted windows, you ride around with tinted windows to the grocery store and other places you go about on your everyday life, correct?
Right.
And I say objection at this point. I just don't know if this is a relevant line of questioning.
I'm asking
Well,
because it's
it
relevant.
is cumulative.
Okay. Well, I have one more question.
Okay.
When you're wearing that mask, you just wear that mask in your everyday life, when you're going to the store, when you're going to run errands, doing whatever, correct?
Right.
All right. Thank you. Okay. Mr. Copeland, you said that Rice Street is the worst place in the world.
Yes.
You have said that you'd rather die than go to Rice Street.
Yes.
Okay. You talked about your stay in Rice Street in, I guess it would be February 21st of 2015, when they arrested you on that probation warrant, and you stayed there for several weeks, correct?
Yes.
Do you remember exactly how long you stayed there?
Yes.
How long?
3 weeks.
3 weeks. Okay. So that would have been February 21st to the middle of March of 2015.
Yes.
Okay. And in that, first of all, in Rice Street in general, there's dorms, right?
Not where they put me at.
Well, I'm just talking about in general right now. I'm going to get to where they put you at in a
Yes.
second. There's dorms. And then within the dorms, there's cells.
Yes,
Okay, and the cells, how big are the cells?
18 and some ones, 16s and other ones.
Talking about feet?
You said cells?
Yes.
Like rooms?
Yeah, how big are the rooms?
Yeah, 18 rooms and some, 16 and some.
The individual rooms are small, correct?
Yes,
Okay. And everything is made of either concrete or metal, correct?
yes,
All right. Most of the time you have a cellmate.
all the time.
Okay. No privacy.
Correct,
Showers in common areas.
correct,
Toilets. You don't get a special room to use the bathroom.
right,
Okay. It's filthy. You talked about feces.
all the time.
When you on the ground, on the walls, things like that.
Yes.
Okay. Standing water in the showers.
Who?
Standing water.
We call it nut juice.
What do you call it?
Nut juice.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Shard, let's get on. We're painting the picture. Let's get on with what you want to ask.
Okay. The filth in Rice Street. To avoid that filth, you would be willing to tell lies, correct?
Correct.
All right. Let's talk about the danger of Rice Street. What's a shank?
A knife.
Okay. Knife made of just a random piece of metal, correct?
Whatever you can make with. Whatever you find.
Are shanks common in Rice Street?
Is they who?
Common.
What you mean?
I keep using that word. Is it unusual for people to have shanks in Rice Street? When I say people, I'm talking about the inmates.
You saying, do they have them?
Yes.
Yes. You better have one.
Okay. And is it a concern of yours that someone that doesn't like you would have a shank in Rice Street?
Yes.
Okay. You know jail, you know Rice Street to be a particularly dangerous place, correct?
Yes.
And it's a particularly dangerous place for you, correct?
Yes.
You would lie to avoid the dangers of Rice Street, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I want to talk about the isolation. Okay. In February of 2015, you were arrested, and let's be clear, you feel it was a bogus probation warrant, correct?
It was.
Right. You were on probation and they accused you of not completing your community service.
And I didn't even have community service to do.
And even if you did, you never heard of anyone getting locked up for failing to do community service on probation.
I even called my probation officer and she said she didn't do it.
Right. I understand. And so when they locked you up in February of 2015, they put you in isolation, correct?
That's what you want to call it.
Well, you said, I think the way you described it was the medical unit. There was sick people. It was disgusting. People were talking to themselves.
Yes. People were doing worse stuff than that, eating their stuff.
Okay. You would lie to avoid going back to that place that took you and put you in February of 2015, correct?
You talking about now?
No, I'm talking about on June 10th of 2015. You would have lied to avoid going right back to where they had you 3 months earlier.
Right.
Okay. Mr. Kokomo, could you play DS23Q, which is States 378 Yankee Echo, June 10th, 2015 at 4:16:13 to 4:16:36.
Do I need to listen to it?
I would appreciate it if you did. Thank you.
Man, I really be dead in here anyway. I'm just saying. What I'm saying is, man, I do whatever it takes. Whatever, man. I hate jail. I promise you God, man. Because you can't. You want to be out. I'm going to take these niggas guns and bring it to y'all myself. I would set them up myself. I would do whatever it takes. I will, man. I will.
Ms. Copeland, that was you and Investigator Dennis on June 10th, 2015, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you told Investigator Dennis that you'd rather be dead than be sent back to jail.
Still will.
Okay. And you said you will do anything to stay out of jail.
That's what he said.
And do anything includes lying on others, correct?
Yes.
All right. Mr. Copeland, we're going to change the subject a little bit. I want to talk to you about some of these statements you made to the police, okay? In 2015. All right. And let me just ask you, you said, I don't recall a lot when when Ms. Hilton asked you about things that you said in your statements in 2015, right?
Yes.
Okay, and that was 9 years ago? About?
I guess.
Okay. In these meetings that the DA's office or Ms. Hilton or whomever had with you in June of 2024, prior to you testifying, did anyone offer to play those statements to you to remind you of what you said?
No.
Did anyone give you a transcript of what you said in those statements so you could review them before testifying?
No.
They just told you, if you don't remember, just say, I don't recall, correct?
Yes.
The reality is they just wanted to play those statements. That's why they wanted you here today, correct?
Objection or speculation.
Sustained.
Okay. Let's talk about January 11th, 2015, okay? That was in the early morning hours of January 11th, 2015, right?
Wait.
You met with Detective Thorpe.
Oh, yes.
Early morning hours of January 11th, 2015. Okay. And you've stated you went to that meeting. You went voluntarily to clear your name, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you met with Detective Thorpe at the police headquarters, correct?
Yes.
You knew Detective Thorpe to be the lead investigator on the Donovan Thomas case. That's what he told you.
I can't remember.
Okay. Certainly, he asked you questions about the Donovan Thomas case, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And let's just talk about the timing of this meeting. If, and I know we're saying it did not happen, I want to be clear on that. If Demekion had told you something at the McDonald's, right?
Now listen.
This meeting with Detective Thorpe would have been hours after Demekion made that statement, correct? It would have been the same night, just after midnight.
But he never told me that.
I understand. I understand he never told you that, but I'm saying if he did.
Are you saying that?
The meeting was mere hours after.
It would have been.
Right, it would have been. Okay. And Detective Thorpe asked you about the Donovan Thomas shooting, correct?
That's what his purpose of calling me down now.
And you showed up, and you went through your movements that day, correct?
Yes.
Your movements from January 10th, 2015.
I think I did. He asked me where I been. That's what you asked me?
Right. And you went into details about everything that happened that day, correct?
I guess.
Okay. That meeting on January 11th, 2015, you never claimed that Demekion Garlington told you that Shannon Stillwell, Diamante Kendricks, Duwop, and Nard killed Donovan Thomas, did you? You never told him that on January 11, 2015.
No, I didn't.
Okay. And the reason you didn't tell him that is because you hadn't made up that lie yet, correct?
Right.
Let's talk about January 28th, 2015. That was your second recorded statement. And I understand what you've testified to. There may have been phone calls and all sorts of other communications in between there with police. But January 28th, 2015 was your second recorded statement. Okay? You met with Investigator Dennis, Investigator Gaither, and Detective Thorpe on January 28th, 2015, correct?
I don't know the date, but yes.
Okay. And they certainly asked you about the Donovan Thomas shooting, correct?
I don't remember what they asked me.
Okay, well, I'm going to play a clip, but you would agree that January 28th, 2015 would have been 18 days after, if Demekion Garlington had told you that information, it would have been 18 days later, this statement.
I guess. I don't keep up with time.
Okay, 28 minus 10 is 18. So 18 days between January 10th, 2015 and January 28th, 2015. You with me?
All right.
All right, cool. Mr. Kokomo, could you play DS-20A, which is States 378 Yankee Beta from 7/22/37 to 7/24/40.
Yeah, what do you think, killed that?
Okay.
You're prime suspect, but move yourself out there.
Okay, did you hear Investigator Dennis ask you, who do you think killed Nut?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Who you think did?
I'll probably say that.
I'm just saying, like, word on the street is, you've been tried, convicted within the street.
Now they said two of my other partners were locked up for it, but
Who?
they to my head and Doc. But they ain't have anything to do.
Who was that?
Doc locked up.
Who was that?
Clarence. I think that's your name. Light skin like a Mexican. Yeah. They saying they did. Out though, right? Yeah, head out. Yeah, head out. They saying they did. You know what I'm saying? They trying to make it
What
like.
you think? Like, what do you think? What do you think happened?
Okay, right there, you said to Investigator Dennis, when asked who you think killed Nut, they're saying, meaning the streets, right?
Right.
Streets are saying Head and Doc, who are two people you know.
Right.
Those are street names, Head and Doc.
Right.
Streets are saying they did it, but you don't believe that.
Right.
Okay.
Like, real shit?
I think it got something to do with them. I think they did something. They got another beef somewhere else. Cause I been hearing stories like Nut's supposed to ran off on somebody with some. You know what I'm saying? But
When you said, I think it had something to do with them, you were referring to If Gang, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And I paused in the middle. I probably shouldn't have, but you started talking about the rumor was Nut ran off with something.
That's what I said.
Okay. And something would be narcotics.
Yes.
Okay.
It's on the coast. Right. I'm reason on him because I'm with Doug and Birdman. Right. And he come back to them. Right. So Nut's supposed to ran off on somebody with some and some jury. I don't know if they didn't say what it was. It's like he's supposed to ran off on them with something. And Rich Homie Corn supposed to give him $50,000 to meet a new plug. Like Rich Homie Corn told him this out of his mouth. Yeah. Then Rich Homie Corn like he got $25,000 to have Tate killed. It's like from the picture you just showed me? Nah, Tate who just got shot the other night. Oh, in the car over there. Okay. He got 25.
Okay. So you continued to say that the rumor was that Nut, or I should say Donovan Thomas, you said Nut, ran off on someone, and that something would have been narcotics.
That's what I said.
Right. Nowhere in that answer did you say, well, Demekion Garlington told me that Shannon and Mr. Kendricks and Duop and Nard killed Nutt.
I did say that.
You didn't say that on January 28th.
I didn't say that.
Correct. I'm going to ask you to listen to what's been marked as DS20B, which is that same interview from 7:50:56 to 7:52:50.
Why was people saying Birdman have something to do with all this?
Because that's what they gonna do. They gonna do what they, like, I realize it. You know what I'm saying? They say they bagged me up. It might be, but they paying for it. So.
They financing it.
Yeah, that's what they saying. So I just like, man, whatever.
What about Nut stole his watch?
Stole what?
Birdman watch.
I doubt it. Because when you go in Birdman's house, you're not gonna go in their room. That's Shannon calling right there. But, like, every time you're in the Birdman house, you go in the living room. Don't nobody go in his room.
What about Kels and Greedy stealing the watch? Still in front of the phone?
Never heard anything back.
What about Kel knocking off Nut? Doubt it.
I ain't gonna say I doubt it.
I heard that.
I don't say I doubt it. I don't know. Because when him and Thug, like, he was just like, well, call Nut. I'm gonna tell Nut about this. You know,
like big homie.
Yeah. Like the big brother, like I'm telling like the boss. Yeah, like he just like I gotta tell Nut what he need to see. I was looking at him like, why you gotta tell Nut? But I ain't never seen that. Like right here.
What about Thug knocking off Nut?
Like I said, I really can't say, like, when it comes out of Nut, I don't know. I don't know nothing about it.
Who did you hear? You said that you heard just in the streets that Head and who's the other dude?
But they say they got locked up for it. Head got locked up with the gun. They killed Nut and all this shit here.
Who told it? It'd be 50% truth, 50% falsehood.
It'd be 100% lie.
No, he did get locked up.
Okay. So in that clip, Investigator Dennis is again asking you about your theories about who killed Donovan Thomas, correct?
That's what I heard.
And he floated a theory about Birdman being behind killing Donovan Thomas because Donovan Thomas stole a watch of Birdman's. Right? You heard that?
Yes.
And you said you don't know anything about that or you doubt it, correct?
Yes.
All right. And then he asked about Greedy. And Greedy is Donovan Thomas's brother, right?
I guess.
Okay. And you said you didn't know anything about that.
Right.
Okay. And then he asked about Kel.
Yes.
Kelvin Watts, Shell Kel, killing Donovan Thomas. And you said you never heard anything about that.
Yes.
And then he asked about, I think he said Thugger. We're talking about Jeffrey Williams. And you said you don't know nothing about that.
Right.
Correct? All right. That second time when you were asked about your theories about who killed Donovan Thomas, you never said that Demekion Garlington told you that Shannon, Mr. Kendricks, Nard, and Duop killed Donovan Thomas, did you?
Because he didn't tell me that.
I understand. Okay. I'm going to play DS20C, and I'm going to ask you to listen to this clip as well.
My girl, she get a lot of information from her friends. She got a lot of friends, so they be around me. Luchinelle was talking in the studio, and there was a girl in there, they messing with one of them, and she was my girlfriend. And she said that they nobody didn't do that. Nothing. You know what I'm saying? They was all like Kill and K robbed somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Kill and who?
K.
Who's K?
I sent you a picture of that to them. I think I sent it to those each other. They had a chop on in the picture.
Oh, yeah. And the gym was in the car.
Yeah, them two robbed somebody. And they supposed to came back. This was they talk about the studio. You know what I'm saying? They just put my name on it. They covered it up.
Make it seem like they ain't got beef for the streets, whatever.
Yeah. And then they like, she be like, they know what they do it. You know what I'm saying? But they gonna keep playing on him. And she be like, K, when the nut got killed, K first one called everybody like, we killed Nut. Tell the mom now we did. He the first one started my name. And they like, K went along with it. So they had just robbed somebody, then they did, like Nut died, then they started.
That same day?
I don't know when. They like, they just robbed somebody. And niggas supposed to come back for them. You know what I'm saying? Like, Kill robbed Fly. He robbed one of them.
So, in that clip, Mr. Copeland, again, you were asked about your understanding or what you've heard about who killed Donovan Thomas, correct?
Right.
And you said that you said that your girlfriend or a female friend of yours was at the studio and she was told that Kel and Kay had robbed somebody.
That's what I said?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And that the people that Kel and Kay robbed came back and killed Donovan Thomas as revenge for being robbed.
Yes.
And you said that Kay then started putting it on you to cover his own tracks.
Yes.
And you also specifically said your understanding was Kelvin Watts, the robbery he did was to Fly's plug.
Yes.
Okay. And so we're clear. Fly is Mr. Jervin Henry. Do you know his government name?
No.
Okay. He's someone who runs clubs, correct? And runs TIG, the record label.
I guess.
Okay. And when you say plug, what do you mean by plug? That's a drug distributor, correct?
That's just a phrase that we use. I don't know.
Is it involved in the drug game?
I guess.
Okay. The bottom line is you gave, on that third clip, you gave some more information about things you heard, but you never said, detectives, let me tell you, Demekion Garlington told me that Shannon, Mr. Kendricks, Doo-Wop, and Nard killed Nut. Did you?
I never said that.
Right. And the reason you never said that on January 28th, 2015 is because you hadn't made up that lie yet, had you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you had, or no, you hadn't?
I haven't.
Okay, and the reason you hadn't made up that lie, let's just be clear, on January 28, 2015, no one was trying to lock you up, right?
I just didn't have no reason to.
Right. You had no reason to finesse at that time.
Right. They lost like I was.
I want to ask you about February 20th, 2015. On that date, you met with Investigator Curry, correct? And let me just, I think his name is Curry, it might be Kerr, but it was the investigator about those people shooting at you while you were holding your baby. Remember that?
Yes.
And you remember that investigator?
I remember, I didn't know no name, but yeah.
Okay. And that would have been 40 days if Demekion Garlington had in fact told you that my client and others were responsible for Donovan Thomas's death. That would have been 40 days after you received that information, if that had occurred, right?
I don't get it.
Okay. It would have been a little bit over a month. February 20th, 2015 is a little bit over a month from January 10th, 2015, correct?
Gotcha. Yes.
Okay. And you were asked in that interview about the Donovan Thomas situation, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't remember. I don't know.
All right.
I can't.
Well, you didn't say anything about Demekion Garlington telling you that Shannon and Mr. Kendricks and Duop and Nard had killed Donovan Thomas in that interview, did you?
No.
And the reason is because you hadn't made up the lie yet, right?
Right.
February 21st, Detective Gaither and Detective Thorpe had you in there. And they were arresting you for that bogus probation warrant, right?
Yes.
And you knew it was bogus. You didn't think that it was actually going to stick, did you?
Right.
They asked you about the Donovan Thomas case. And this would have been 41 days after Demekion supposedly gave you that information, right?
Right.
And you never told them that Demekion Garlington told you that Shannon, Mr. Kendricks, Duop, and Nard killed Nutt, did you?
Right.
We can agree that in the 4 recorded meetings prior to June 10, 2015, you never claimed Demekion Garlington said those things about my client or Mr. Kendrick, correct?
Right.
Okay. So let's talk about June 10, 2015 and what makes that date different. On June 10th, 2015, okay, we're going to that interview. You with me?
Yes.
All right, appreciate you. You met with Investigator Gaither, Investigator Dennis, Investigator Thorpe, and Federal Agent Cunningham, correct?
No. I didn't meet with them.
They brought you to the interview room and they came in the room.
Yes.
Okay, you didn't choose to meet with them.
No.
All right, and let's just talk about the circumstances. And I'm going to show you a picture that's already in evidence. I believe it's 378 Yankee Echo 1. If I may approach and get that, Your Honor.
You may.
Shaq, you don't have it. Thank you. May I approach?
You may.
I'm handing you what's been marked as 378 Yankee Echo 1. That's the state's exhibit. That is a picture of you in the interrogation room on June 10, 2015, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to just wait till we can display this. Can you display it? Oh, actually, don't. Thank you, Mr. Atkins. All right. Mr. Copeland, when you go to jail, you wear a blue jail outfit that's given to you by the Fulton County Sheriff Department, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and it says Fulton County Jail or Fulton County inmate on the shirt and the pants, correct?
Yes.
You absolutely hate wearing that blue outfit, correct?
Without a doubt.
Okay. In this picture, you are not wearing one of those blue outfits. You're wearing street clothes, correct?
Right.
Okay, but let's just be clear. In that picture on June 10, 2015, when you're being interviewed, your hands are shackled together, correct?
Yes.
You have leg irons on, correct?
Yes.
And the leg irons are attached to an anchor on the ground so you cannot get up and run, correct?
And they're hurting.
And they're hurting. And you knew that it was only, unless something drastic happened, it was only a matter of hours before you were going to have a blue Fulton County jumpsuit on, correct?
Yes.
The circumstances of you being brought to that interview room on June 10th, 2015, were federal agents kicked down Miss Quarterman's door that day, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and they kicked down that door looking for you because they had an arrest warrant for you.
Yes.
They had an arrest warrant for you for the April 28, 2015 possession of a firearm incident at the Dunbar Rec Center.
Yes.
Okay. And while in the apartment, they saw some things, correct?
Yes.
And they went and got a search warrant.
I don't know.
You're not sure if they got a search warrant. Okay. The bottom line is they searched your apartment.
They did.
Okay. And they found a Smith & Wesson handgun in the kitchen of that apartment, correct?
They found a gun. I don't know what kind.
Okay. Was it a handgun?
I never saw it.
Okay. They also found a stolen laptop computer in your apartment, correct?
That's what they said.
All right. They also searched Deshaun's car, correct?
No.
Well, didn't they find stolen IDs and other stolen property?
That was a rental car from
Okay.
her mama rented.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for that clarification. They found a stolen IDs and other property in a rental car that was associated with you, correct? That you had been driving.
Yes.
Okay. And also on June 10th, 2015, your daughter's birthday was coming up.
7 days.
7 days from that date.
Yes.
And you had plans to have a big celebration for her birthday.
Yes.
Okay. Even though you didn't have a blue jumpsuit on during the interview, Investigator Gaither informed you that you were under arrest for various charges, correct?
Yes.
And you were under investigation for various other charges.
Yes.
Okay. She told you that you were being charged with possession of a firearm by a convicted felon for the gun at the Dunbar Rec Center.
Yes.
She told you that you were being charged with reckless conduct for leaving the gun on the bleachers at the Dunbar Rec Center.
Yes.
She told you that you were being charged with gang charges for possessing a gun at the Dunbar Rec Center.
Yes.
And you knew that you knew that you weren't getting a bond for the gang charges at
Right.
first appearance.
Right.
You were going to have to sit for a while because of those gang charges.
Yes.
Unless something drastic happened.
Yes.
Okay. You were also told that they were that they were investigating the stolen MacBook computer found in your apartment.
Yes.
You were told that they were investigating the stolen IDs and other property that was found in the rental car.
Yes.
And Investigator Gaither told you that she knew that stolen property found in the rental car was taken during a series of auto breakings in the area, correct?
Yes.
You also had a Henry County bench warrant.
Yes.
I believe you had another bench warrant out of the city of Atlanta involving a four-wheeler. You don't remember that?
Yeah, I don't remember.
Okay, that's fair. And And eventually, Investigator Cunningham also told you that you were facing potentially federal charges.
Yes.
For the gun that was found in the apartment, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Investigator Gaither told you it's real now, it's about to be real, right?
Yes.
What'd you take that to mean?
Exactly what she said.
She was telling you, the way you took it, it was time to get to talking, correct?
Yes.
If you wanted to get out anytime soon.
Yes.
They told you that there was no way around that charge at the Dunbar Rec Center, that it was on video.
Yes.
That you were dead to rights.
Yes.
That they had all the control in the situation, correct?
Yes. I think it said open and shut case.
And let's be clear. Even though you don't have that jail uniform on in this picture, you were thinking about how you just got out of jail 3 months prior. You had just been in jail in that horrible unit with feces and people talking to themselves and people eating whatever they were eating and the isolation. And you were thinking about that on June 10th, 2015, correct?
Yes.
Could you play, Mr. Kokomo, could you play what's been marked DS23B? And this is from States 378 Yankee Echo 94048 to 94229.
Okay, what you here for is your warrants from Dunbar Center. Can you tell me what's going on with that? Y'all supposed to be there, sending them like that. I mean, I mean, yeah,
Did you just hear yourself say that people are accusing you of things?
Bro, I can't hear nothing in there, bro.
Okay, could you play that again, Mr.?
I can't hear it. You can play it 1,000 times.
Okay, we're going to try it one more time because I think it's important. But Mr. Copeland, if you can't hear it, we'll move on, okay?
Y'all ears are better than mine.
I understand that. I'm not blaming you.
I ain't have no parts like the shooting, none of these. I ain't have no part. I just I just ain't would do it for the fame. I mean, when they started doing this shit, everybody would call my name because they out. Who did it? Then they didn't put my name in these songs. It ain't even me. I mean, the way y'all look at me, y'all supposed to be there, sending them like that. I mean.
Okay. Mr. Copeland, did you hear yourself say, I just hang out with Thug for the fame?
No.
Okay. Did you hear yourself say that people are saying that you're committing these crimes, certain crimes, but it's not you?
I didn't hear him. I heard I say Shannon's name, but I don't know what I said with it.
Did you hear? Well, do you remember, regardless of what you heard, do you remember saying everything that people are blaming me for, they need to look at Shannon?
I probably did. I can't
Okay.
hear what I said.
Now that you have this immunity agreement from the state, you acknowledge that you were committing crimes back then, correct?
What you mean?
Well, you've acknowledged that, and we're going to get to it later, but you've acknowledged that you and Threat shut up Rich Homie Kwan's dad's barbershop, for instance. Right? You testified to that.
All right.
Okay. So when you said, I ain't doing nothing, when people are blaming me, they need to be looking at Shannon, that was not true. That was you trying to shift blame from yourself. That was you finessing.
But I already said it.
I understand that. But that's an example of you finessing, correct? and shifting the blame from you to Shannon, right?
I said that to you, and I said that to them, and I'm saying it again. I have lied, and you're gonna keep sitting here asking me the same question. You just said a minute ago that you weren't gonna ask me the same question.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna play something not that you said, but what other people said to you. Okay. And I'm gonna ask you to listen. And if you can't hear, you can't hear. Okay.
All right.
I mean, the other thing is, I plan on taking care of my kid, man. I mean, fuck that, man. I ain't did nothing. I ain't shoot the houses. I ain't shot nobody. I mean, man, only I had a gun because the test told me, man, I had the right to defend myself. Because the same night he got killed, I came down here. I don't really tell him, but guess what I was just thinking, like, man, these niggas thug got a lot of power, man. Even right now, I'm still thinking about it. Like, shit, man, I just fucked myself up, man. Just worse and worse.
Yeah.
I want to say,
I don't know. I'll make that decision.
I ain't have no foot.
Keep going. I'm sorry.
I will talk to the USA. The judge makes.
Did you hear yourself ask Agent Cunningham if your case is going to the feds?
Yes.
Did you hear Agent Cunningham say, I don't know, I just talked to the AUSA?
No.
Okay. Keep playing.
Decision on, what's going down there.
I ain't have no voice.
But you were, I don't know if you had no part of that. That's yet to be determined. But you had every part of the gun that was found today.
No, you keep saying the gun that was found today. I didn't have that gun. Though she said y'all no fingerprints. My fingerprint, I would come back on that gun.
Do you know what actual and constructive possession is?
Been around.
Yeah, be around.
But I didn't know what it was in there though. Just like she said she didn't know, I didn't know.
Man, I'm mad at this. The baby didn't know. She mad.
Now, this is what I'm saying here. Me and her just, we were there. But I wasn't there yesterday.
But you were there this morning when they found it, sweetheart.
You know how I got there this morning? You know how I had to get there.
But that's irrelevant. You were there. When they came and brought you up, it was there, you were there. That's all I need. That's on you.
So what you need me to do? I don't know, I'm just trying to get out there.
I mean, that's on you.
This is on me. It ain't no way I can get out of it.
Help yourself.
I'm trying to
help myself. You talking. That's a good start.
Did you hear yourself, Mr. Copeland, ask Agent Cunningham, what do you need me to do? I'm just trying to get out of jail.
Yes.
Okay. And did you hear Agent Cunningham respond, you help yourself? You help yourself?
Yes.
Help us help you?
Yes.
You're talking, that's a start?
I said yes.
Okay. Help us help you. Did you take that as it was time for you to finesse, to start telling stories on others, to get yourself out of the situation?
Yes.
I got one more clip I'm going to ask you to listen to, Mr. Copeland. And this is actually from February 21st, 2015. Mr. Kokomo, I'm going to ask you to publish what's already DS24A, which is already, it's a clip from states.
Better allergy relief for better boyfriending. Live Claritin Clear.
Raising Cane's is
Worse on me. You know how they got me in jail? They got me in the back. Ooh, somebody protecting me. Ooh, if you feel like you need to protect me, why they get me out of jail? No, bro, it don't quite work that way.
Understand?
Now, you recognize that as Detective Thorpe's voice, correct? He's not on the video. He's off the camera, but you recognize that as his voice, correct?
You play it again?
Yep. Just back up 5 seconds.
No, it don't quite work that way. Understand, it is not Burger King. You're not going to have it your fucking way. I ain't trying to have my way.
You remember Detective Thorpe telling you that?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to ask you to listen to what he tells you. I just wanted to make sure we're on the same page with Detective Thorpe, okay?
I haven't done No. Hear me out, because you need to hear somebody who's going to talk the real shit to you. I ain't gonna fuck around with you. I already told you. I'm not gonna hold your hand. I'm not gonna help you cross the street. None of that. Hear me. You locked up for probation violation. Whatever happened between you and the parole board and the probation unit, that's on y'all. Now, myself and Detective Gator, we're gonna take time out of our off day to get you out of jail and talk to you to see whatever information you give can be used to help you. What you gotta give in order to get. All you want to think that all you want is give me. But you don't want to give nothing back. Here's the thing. I didn't ask and I told you before, you and I, we're not going to do a 68. I'm not going to blow you and you owe me one. No, it don't work that way. You understand what I'm getting at? Because I don't fuck around with you no more. You want people to help you out, but then you step and stop at the certain line and say, well, you figure out the rest. I got the information.
So, Mr. Copeland, that was on February 21st, 2015. You would agree that Detective Thorpe made these comments to you before you first lied and said that Mr. Garlington told you the information on Shannon and others, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And Investigator Thorpe said, I ain't going to F around with you, right?
Yes.
You have to give in order to get.
Yes.
You want to say, give me. You don't give back.
Yes.
And of course, the give me was you getting out of trouble, getting out of jail, right?
Right.
Okay. You and we aren't going to do a 68. I'm not going to blow you and you owe me one.
Right.
You said that?
Yes.
Did you understand the message that he was getting across when he said that?
Right.
We are not going to no DA and say, you cut us a break and he ain't give us nothing. You heard him say that?
Right.
Go ahead.
I have the information, but I'm not going to say anything else. Y'all just need to go ahead and check me out of jail, and I'm good after that. No, brother, it don't work that way. Whatever fucking TV show you was watching, them motherfuckers was wrong. I don't even look at TV.
I can't hear
So
you.
whoever told you whatever you thinking, you're dead ass wrong. We're not going to go to no district attorney and say, can you go ahead and cut him a break because he gave us nothing? Nigga, it don't work that way. When the fuck did life start working that way? It don't work that way. That's a fuck fantasy. Man. You gotta give to give. And that's just being real. Are we?
Did you hear Investigator Gaither back Detective Thorpe up and tell you, you got to give to get, and that's just being real?
Yeah, I just heard it.
Okay. Ms. Copeland, these are just some examples. The reality is the detectives in this case had been encouraging you to tell stories on others to get yourself out of trouble, correct?
For the 100th time, I've been telling you that.
Okay. You knew how to finesse on your own, right? But the detectives were also encouraging you to finesse, correct?
Well, they were tricking me.
As I understand it, Mr. Copeland, your testimony is that you told many lies in these interviews in 2015, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I would like to just review with you some of the lies that you told, okay?
All right.
All right, thank you. First of all, I want to talk to you about the gray infinity. Okay?
I'm listening.
All right. Through the questioning of the police, and I don't know, maybe through other information that you've been given, you're aware that there's a surveillance video of the shooting of Donovan Thomas, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you're aware that the surveillance video shows a gray sedan, correct?
Yes.
And you're aware that the police believe it to be an Infiniti, correct?
They put it on the news.
Okay. Your Honor, I'm going to ask Mr. Kokomo to publish DS-19A, which is a clip from States 378 Yankee A, which is the January 11, 2015 interview, from 3/18/47 to 3/19/38.
Who's Walter Lee Maddox? Who? Who's Walter Maddox?
No, you man?
Did y'all ever rent or own an Infiniti?
Infiniti.
Y'all ever rent one of those cars before? Have you ever been stopped in an Infiniti before?
Have I?
Yeah. Ever accident in an Infiniti?
No.
A Maxima?
Have I ever had a car wreck in?
Mm-hmm.
No. Let me think.
Anytime.
I had a car wreck in Pontiac. That was a couple years ago. I ain't had no car wreck. I ain't had no red sleep. I ain't have none in it.
Okay, this is the same night that Donovan Thomas was shot and killed, correct?
Can you say it again?
This is the same night. This interview was the same night that Donovan Thomas was shot and killed, correct?
I guess.
Okay. And Detective Thorpe, you heard him. He asked if you've ever owned or rented an Infiniti, correct?
That's what he said.
And you said no. Right?
Right.
He asked if you ever wrecked an Infiniti. Right?
Right.
And you said no.
Right.
Okay. I'm going to publish, Your Honor, with your permission, DS-19B, which is a clip from the same interview on 378 Yankee Alpha, States Exhibit 378 Yankee Alpha, from 3/20/28 to 3/20/48. It's just 20 seconds.
This is a video?
Yes. 3/20/28 to 3/20/48.
Y'all ever had a Infiniti Gray?
It's not playing.
Gray. Y'all ever?
Is it up now?
No.
Okay. Could you start it over?
Y'all ever had a Infiniti Gray? A gray Infiniti Q45 before?
A truck?
No.
A cup?
Yeah.
Not I know of.
Actually, brother, maybe his car. A red car he had rented or something like that. Alright. That's cool. That's cool.
Okay. In that clip, again, Detective Thorpe asked you about whether you ever had a gray Infiniti, correct?
Right.
And you said, not that I know of.
Right.
Okay. Those were your statements on January 11, 2015, hours after Donovan Thomas was shot, correct?
Right.
Okay. I want to talk to you about the reality. The reality is that you asked Jeffrey Williams to rent you a gray Infiniti, correct?
I'm listening.
Or I should say, you asked him to rent you a car, and it ended up being a gray Infiniti, correct?
I'm listening.
Okay. The reality is that on the night of June 9th, going into the morning of June 10th, the same day that Donovan Thomas was shot, you were driving that Infiniti on the highway, correct?
I don't know. I can't remember. When I was driving it.
We just saw your testimony from earlier in this trial.
Yeah, but you being specific about the time. I don't know.
Okay. The reality is,
I don't know when I wrecked on the expressway. That's what I'm saying.
okay. Do you agree that it was, I'm not asking for a time, do you agree that it was on the evening of January 9th? It was nighttime that you wrecked.
It was
correct?
nighttime.
You were speeding on the highway and you hit some cones.
I lost control, yeah.
And that was, I believe in your testimony, you said you wrecked the car. And let me be clear, Quindarius Zachary, Lil D from Cleveland, you know who I'm talking about?
Yes.
Lil D from Cleveland was in that car, that Infiniti, with you on the night you wrecked.
Yes.
Okay. And after wrecking the car, you guys reattached the bumper on the side of the highway, correct?
How you know that?
Is it true?
I'm listening.
Okay. And after you reattached the bumper, that's when you went and pulled up on threat Trevante Turner at a music studio somewhere around Northside Drive, I believe is what you said.
Yes.
Correct? And you gave that car to that Infiniti to Trevante Turner.
Yes.
Okay. And in your testimony, you said then you went home, fell asleep, and the next day you woke up, and that's when the Donovan Thomas shooting occurred. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm just working through this with you. I'm not trying to trick you. So based on your testimony, you were driving that car, that Infiniti, on the evening of January 9th going into January 10th, correct?
I guess.
Of 2015 with Mr. Zachary.
I guess.
And you gave that Infiniti to your good friend, Threat, in the early morning hours of January 10th, 2015, correct?
I gave it to him at nighttime. It was dark.
Okay. So you don't remember if it was before midnight or after midnight. Is that what you're saying?
I don't keep up with the time.
Okay, that's fine. The bottom line is you were specifically asked about that Infiniti or an Infiniti hours after Donovan Thomas was shot. And you denied ever being in possession of an Infiniti, correct?
Say that again.
When you were asked on January 11th, early in the morning, talking to Detective Thorpe, when Detective Thorpe, the lead investigator of the Donovan Thomas murder, asked you about possessing a gray Infiniti, you denied that you ever had one, correct?
Right.
Okay. Let's talk about the gun at the Dunbar Rec Center. As I understand your testimony, or as I understand your statements, let me back up. I'm sorry. At the Dunbar Rec Center, we're talking about a Diamondback .223 assault rifle, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, so we're not talking about a handgun. We're talking about a semi-automatic machine gun? Is that a fair assessment?
A chopper.
A chopper. Okay. And in your statements back in 2015, you repeatedly denied possession of that gun, didn't you?
They put it on me.
Okay. And your testimony actually here today is that you were just there playing basketball and they put it on you.
That's what the video would show.
Okay. You specifically said in your statements when you were trying to get out of jail, I ain't do nothing. Right?
Right.
Okay. The reality is that you pled to that case in federal court, correct?
Yes.
Okay. In federal court, you acknowledged possessing that gun.
Yes.
Okay. And you were sentenced.
Yes.
Okay. And you served, and to be fair to you, you served your sentence, right?
Yes.
Okay. Let's talk about the stolen IDs in the rental car and the laptop in the apartment on June 10th, 2015, okay? And that's the day that the federal agents kicked into
yeah.
Sean's door and locked you up. And that's also the same day that you made up the story and lied and said Demekion Garlington told you that Shannon and others were responsible for killing Donovan Thomas, right?
Yes.
Okay. Can you play DS23I for me, Mr. Kokomo? And that's States Exhibit 378 Yankee Echo from June 10th, 2015, from 11:25:01 to 11:26:20.
Like I said, you didn't say that. You said, I'll tell you, did that shit. Yeah. Okay. So you want to know them? Neither Jeffery, Lil Mike.
Pause.
Can you play it again?
Yes, we can.
Like I said, you didn't say that. You said, I'll tell you, did that shit. Yeah. Okay. So you want to know them? Neither Jeffery, Lil Mike. Lil Mike, quiz.
In that clip, you're being asked about how those stolen items ended up in your apartment and your rental car, correct?
Yes.
And you're telling the investigators that you didn't do those auto breakings that resulted in those items being stolen, correct?
Right.
You're saying it was Little Mike and Quez from Etheridge?
Yes.
You ain't never heard of them? You ain't never heard of them? They wild him. Whatever they call yourself out there. I'm pretty wait. You pull out the other day about 5 o'clock, y'all, and nothing.
There's gonna be a lot of motherfuckers out there.
How am I gonna know it's them?
You.
Well,
Why you got it though?
I don't know. Why I got it?
Yeah.
I'm trying to jewels off of them. What that mean? Make me some money off of them.
What, sell somebody out there?
Nah, just like, I mean,
What's the burger
they make money off of them.
How?
How did you get it? How did you get it? Shit, then I got it. When they bought the cup, Tay bought the cup at them. Wait a minute, you let Tay borrow the Jeep? Yeah.
Lil D, bro.
No. You know what I'm talking about. You talking about Trevante? Yeah. You let Trevante use the car? Yeah, he's supposed to go to you. You know what I'm saying? But when they pull that car, I let him go.
Okay. There you're saying that you gave the car to Trevante, who gave it to Lil Mike and Quez, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and you would agree that detectives Gaither and Dennis are telling you we've never even heard of Lil Mike and Quez, correct?
Yes.
Mr. Copeland, Lil Mike is not a real person, is he?
No.
That was the finesse. You invented a person out of thin air, correct?
Yes.
Quez is not a real person. You invented him out of thin air on the spot, correct?
Yes.
You invented those people to take the heat off of you and put it on fictional characters.
I done told y'all that's what I do.
That's your finesse, right? The reality is that stolen merchandise was found in your apartment and in your rental car, and you invented fictional characters to take the heat off yourself, right? I know you're going to say, I told you that's what I do.
I guess.
But I got to ask the questions. You understand? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. October 27, 2021. Okay. Your Honor, may I approach?
You may.
Mr. Copeland, I am handing you what's been marked DS25C. Do you recognize the people in that photograph?
Yes.
Okay, and who are those people?
Me and the police.
Okay, and do you know either of the police officers' names?
Miss V, and I think that the white man named Kelly, something like that.
Okay, could the Caucasian gentleman be known as Investigator Kettle?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, and Ms. V is Investigator Viverito?
Yeah, the probation officer.
Okay. And are you in an interrogation room in that photo?
Yes.
Okay, and is that a photo from the interrogation of you on October 27, 2021?
Yes.
Okay, and at this time, Your Honor, I would ask to admit DS25C into evidence.
All right.
Mr. Kokomo, could you publish that? Okay, and like I asked you about the photo from June 10, 2015, I'm going to ask about this photo as well. You don't appear to be wearing a Fulton County blue uniform, are you?
No.
Okay, and I can't tell if were your arms shackled together during that interview?
My leg.
All right, and we see you're wearing Timberland boots, and we see a chain right next to the boot, correct?
It's on my leg.
Right, and that's shackling you to the ground.
Yes.
You are under arrest in this photo.
Yes.
Okay, and you know that you are soon to be wearing a Fulton County blue uniform, correct?
That's what they told me.
Okay. And the allegations of that case were you were pulled over.
Old Smokey, come on, live a little.
Okay, and you were a convicted felon, so you're not allowed to possess the handgun.
But I was walking.
Okay, I understand that's what you're saying, but you were charged with reckless conduct and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
No, I was charged with driving with suspended license and the firearm.
Okay. Thank you for that correction. When you say firearm, you're talking about possession of firearm by a convicted felon?
Yes.
Okay. And there's a little complication with that explanation. You were, in fact, searched after you were arrested, correct?
I was tased and everything.
Okay. And when the police searched your clothing, correct?
Yes.
And they actually found a magazine in your pocket, and bullets in your pocket, correct?
That's what they say.
In the pocket of the pants you were wearing, correct?
That's what they say.
Okay. And when I say a magazine, that's a component of a gun that holds the bullets, correct?
I guess.
Okay. All right. Mr. Kokomo, could you play DS25B, which is from 10/27/21 interview from 2/23/05 to 2/23/58?
I don't think that video has been tendered and admitted.
Has it? Do you know?
It has not.
I am asking to, well, I'll go about this a different way. Thank you, Ms. Hill.
I don't have an objection, so I'm just saying it's not admitted.
I might not need to play the video. Mr. Copeland, do you remember in that interview, you were asked about if that's not your gun in the car, and if you were just walking, why do you have a magazine with bullets in your pocket? Correct? You remember them asking you that?
Can I speak to my lawyer?
Yes. Well,
Yes, you can. Let's take a break anyway. We'll take about 15 minutes.
I have approximately an hour more, maybe an hour and a half.
Okay. And Mr. Williams, were you gonna do any cross?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. We'll break.